Okay, on muskrats, first thing, clean and dry. You know, have your fur all cleaned up, dry. If you skin them wet, you're gonna have to put a fan on them. It's a little bit tougher to dry the fur once they're off the carcass, but roll them in the snow if you got snow, takes a lot of the moisture out, or roll them up in newspaper on the carcass after you bring them in. That sucks a lot of the moisture out too. So anyway, muskrat, come in at the heel, got him laid on the back, come out right here under the vent, come back in at the vent, and just put your knife in and come right out at the other heel. Flip him over, pinch the tail up, slide your knife through, make sure you don't stick your fingers, and slide right out on top of the tail. Now, you're going to strip this up a little bit over the hips, and you're going to work over to each ankle. I normally pick it up to do this, I'm just trying to keep it in front of the camera. Okay, you got it worked over to each ankle, you got it worked up over the hip. Take the foot, twist it so that the knee pops out. Just put your thumb through, and then just pull. Same thing, twist it so the knee pops out. Work your finger through, and just pull, strip right down to the ankle. Next thing we're gonna do, and I'm gonna back the camera up just a little bit so we don't get out of the range. Okay, we're gonna turning. We're gonna kind of work up over the back a little bit. Got it worked up there. Left hand on the skin, right hand take the head, set him on his butt, and just push through. Now you can see we're clear up here almost to the elbows already. While you've still got him here, leave your hand in there and take on the ribs and just go like this and work back and forth till your fingers come through. Take your hand out, pull here, and again I usually hold it up, but I'm trying to keep in front of the camera, and then just strip it right down to the tail, and it'll tear off. If you try to pull this way on a muskrat, you end up tearing the guts out. If you pull back, then the guts stay in pretty good. Okay, you got him down. Here's his elbow. Just take and stick your thumb through and pull. The other elbow, stick your thumb through and pull. Now, I flip him on the belly. You can use a nail or a hook or something back here to hook a leg in or the tail in or whatever. I just squeeze their nose. I'm gonna run it back in a little bit tighter. Okay. I just squeeze on the nose to put pressure. We're already up to about the ears just from the way we pulled it, so you just get the ear cartilage. Same thing on this one. Couple touches there. Kind of cut that cheek meat. And see, I'm squeezing the nose and just pushing the head right out. See, we're coming up to the eyes. See the eyes starting? The front of the eye is, if you're going to get a big eye, it's going to be at the front. See, when you get the eyes going, then your corner of your mouth is going to open up. And get this side here, and just kind of, you can give a little pull. Cut tendons on this side, tendons on this side. I lay the knife, I slide it up the teeth. I'm not cutting into the teeth, I'm laying on it, sliding it up. Now you give a little cut here, right down between the end of the bone and the cartilage. Nose is off. You want to leave that nose on there for hooking up over the stretcher. So now that muskrat's ready to put on the beam to scrape and put on the stretcher. Okay, scraping and stretching on a muskrat's pretty simple. You can get a special beam, you can use your wife's best serving spoon, you can use a hog scraper, any number of things you can do, or you can just use a regular 6-inch beam if that's what you use the coon on, and use the same scraping knife. That's what I do. The cheek meat, obviously the red meat you want off, a little bit of stuff up here. You got the fat right here under the legs. Okay, once this fat's off, stop scraping. You want to leave that saddle on there. Okay, that yellow fat's on top of the saddle. You want to take that off. Clear down, make a little turn. Again, this yellow fat, this we don't want to take off, we want to leave that on. Yellow fat there, and down here on the back edge. You've always got a little bit of fat and sometimes some meat there on the back edge. Turn it another time. Red meat up here's got to come off. Be careful under the chin. This is thin, you can bust it open. Okay, see we're getting the fat off here at the start of the saddle. That's all the further we want to go. And get that yellow fat off of there. We got a little bit left on here. A little bit right there on the lower belly. Probably should have left that vent on there, but anyway, that's what you want to do on the rat. You don't want to over scrape them. You do damage when you over scrape them. So you get the yellow off, but leave that red saddle on there. Stretching on the muskrat's pretty simple. Make sure he's square. What I do, I'll take and I'll hook this back first. That's a pretty good size rat, so I'm gonna hook him up a little bit. And he's down almost at the end. Okay, he's hooked up, he's pulled almost to the end. Now, what I do when I do the belly is I'll go ahead and pull these sides down. Kind of give it a little squeeze and pull them down. Now that back snug, you don't need to go any further than that. Pull a tab here, a hook. Pull this tab and hook. If I have that whole thing hanging on there, I hook up here anyway, but if that part that I tore off when I was scraping is there, I don't hook clear down here. I want this part to show, because when it dries, that puffs up and it makes a lot nicer looking fur when you've got those guard hairs just sticking right up at you. But anyway, you got it there. This is as far down as it's gonna go. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of a squeeze there. Tug aside there while I'm squeezing. You can clothespin it if you want and make sure those are held down a little further, but when you've got a rat that big, it's not going to matter anyway. He's already going to go a 2x, 3x rat, just the way it is. Ready to hang up and dry.